Hi, I'm Giorgia, and in this video I want to show you how I create paintings and illustrations with watercolors. I'm gonna show you 3 easy and simple ways how to use watercolor, show you everything you need, and I hope to inspire you to create your own watercolor paintings. So first thing you'll need is some aquarelle paper, which is much thicker than normal paper, and the surface is kind of rough. That's because the paper is supposed to absorb water, since working with watercolor, of course, means using a lot of water. Then obviously you'll need some watercolors, and what I'm using is this watercolor box that I've had for years now. That's also why it doesn't look that great anymore, but that doesn't matter, so that's fine. And next you'll need some brushes, and the best type of brushes to use for watercolor are those rounder and bushier ones, because those are able to absorb a lot of water. And then of course a glass to put your water in, maybe some tape, a few pens, some thicker ones and some thinner ones, and that's all you need. So first of all, I'm grabbing my watercolor paper and a craft cutter to cut out a piece of paper. For this first painting, I'm going to illustrate some very simple but cute flowers using watercolor combined with line art. As you can see, I'm using my bigger brush to just wet the paper with water first. This way the color will be able to glide smoothly. I'm starting by mixing a light orange and painting some random, kind of round shapes that look like abstract flowers. As long as the colors are still wet, you can create those very nice color gradients just by going in with different colors. If you try this out, I recommend to start with lighter colors and using darker ones to create that smooth gradient effect. What I like about watercolors is that you can't really plan out the end results, because you'll never know exactly how the colors will blend together and also how it's gonna look like once it's all dry. Once the paint is dry, I use this fine liner pen to create my line art. So what I do is, I try to outline those flower shapes and create multiple petals. Also, it doesn't have to be perfectly done. In fact, I personally like it when the lines are not as straight. It gives it a more organic look, which I think fits the look I'm going for. As you can see, this is a very easy way to illustrate flowers, so I'm gonna use this line art technique for the rest of the flowers. Next, I'm going in with a white pen to add in final touches, to give the flowers some highlights. And now it's done. For the second painting, I got inspired by these abstract designs that are trendy right now. So again, we'll start by using the watercolors to create some colored spots. And what I'm doing here is just using different colors that I like and kind of blend them together towards the middle. A tip I have is, when you feel like you use too much water for one spot, just go in with a tissue or a paper towel and slightly tap on that spot. The tissue will automatically suck in some of the extra water. Another quick tip: let the paint dry for a few minutes and see how it looks. Often the colors dry a little bit lighter than when they are still wet, so you can always go in with more colors to create a more dynamic look. I also try to fill out most of the paper so that we have a nice background for the next step. So once the paint is dry, I again go in with a fine liner to start drawing some random shapes. First, I'll draw this shape and then I redraw it, but I slightly shift the position. This creates these areas, or like those extra shapes on the outlines, and I just choose a few of them to fill in. Next, I used my thicker pen to draw these dots or short lines. I do as many as I feel like look good. I mean, abstract paintings in general are very intuitive, so you can't make any mistakes. Just do whatever feels right to you. Use lines, shapes, dots, fill some parts in and leave others as they are. Just pay attention to the composition. To create an interesting composition, try to repeat the same patterns at least twice, because that way it'll look more intentional. Then I use this other pen to create more random dots. And this is how my abstract illustration turned out. And last but not least, I'm gonna show you how to recreate any photo you took with watercolors. So what I recommend are sunset pictures, or just in general, pictures that have a lot of contrast. Also, pictures with nice color gradients are great, so here are some examples. I choose this nice sunset photo with those dark silhouettes in the front, which is not too complex and therefore perfect for beginners too. So for this one, I'm gonna put some tape on the borders to have clean edges at the end. To create the sky, I use a dark blue and mix it with a lot of water. Then you want to apply the color on the top of the paper and gradually get lighter by painting towards the middle of the paper. Next, I picked this orange color for the sunset and create a horizontal line in the middle of the paper. By adding water towards the blue, you will be able to blend in those two colors and create a beautiful gradient. I also went in with a little bit of yellow on top of the orange to have a nicer transition between the colors. I used the same color with a lot of water to paint the clouds, but made sure that the blue color is not fully dry yet. Now that we have our sky, we can recreate the front part of the picture. So for this step, I'm gonna put the black color all over the lower part of the paper and let it dry. While it dries, I can retouch the sky a little bit and go over with the same colors so that they look more vibrant. Then I go over the black paint again and start painting that tree from my original picture. For this step, I'm using the smaller brush so that I can work more detailed. I also added some grass leaves because I thought they fit in well. And once everything is dry, you can peel off the tape, which I always find so satisfying. And here is the final painting. So these were my 3 watercolor paintings. I hope you liked them, and I also hope that my tutorial and my tips were helpful and inspired you to start using watercolor more. If so, I would appreciate it if you leave me a thumbs up. Here are the 3 final paintings, and they honestly didn't even take that long to make. For me, painting in general is always a very nice activity to unwind, and at the end you even have some cool paintings. So you should try it. Thank you for watching, and you're also very welcome to subscribe for more creative videos like this one. Bye!